All right, I want to start by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles and teachers and wise men and great millstone that I learned this doctrine from, the doctrine of the Lord. All right, salutations to the elect out there. All right, I want to do a quick lesson. Going to this video, I came across this video right here. Let me show you. It says, relative says jealousy led to man unaliving his brother. You see? So, when you watch the video, you're going to see that this is a so-called black man. Let's pull up, see if I can get a picture of his face. So, like, yeah. But when you see the video, when I play the video, you're going to see this so-called black man, which goes back to the curses of Deuteronomy about the Israelites having an evil eye towards their brother. You see? But before I play the video, let's get that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28, which describes the curses. All right. I'm going to start at verse, let's see. This is Deuteronomy. Let's see. It says, the heading, it says, consequences of disobedient. But I'm going to read down to the point. Basically, it describes the curses that will come upon Israel if they disobey the Lord. I'm going to start right here at 45. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 45. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee this day. Because Israel, you see, they've always been rebellious. All right. Verse 46, it says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. But the word forever means just a long time. All right, it says, for verse 47, it says, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until thou be destroyed, you see. And as it is this day, we are in captivity. And we have to go to who? The so-called white man. You Edomites, for want of all things, you see. We use your stores. You know, we use supposedly your water, but we know it's not really your water, because the earth was made to be profitable unto all. But you see, this devil, he's ruling over us now. So the Lord had it to where in the curses, as the curses stated, we would have to go to our enemy for want of all things. All right. Verse 49, it says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, you see, because we knew Hebrew, we didn't know English, you see, and the devil brought that bastard language, English, you see, Spanish, you know, and those other languages, this devil, you know, well, and the other heathens, but mainly, you know, English, this devil's language. We didn't understand the language. All right, it says, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kin, or the flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. All right, trying to get down to the point. All right, it says 52, it says, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou hast trusted throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. You see, and during that time, the Lord sent, you see, the Romans to do all of this to Israel, Jerusalem. All right, verse 53, and it says, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee in the siege, you see, and in the straits wherein thou enemies shall distress thee, you see. And the Lord sent us into captivity, and we've been in captivity, you know, even to this day, by the Romans, you see, starting from the what? This is talking about the transatlantic slave trade, you see. All right, this is the point. This is verse 54. It says, this is verse 54. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, you see, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his seed, which he shall leave, you see. So in the curses, it would state that you will have an evil eye towards your brother. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're under the curses, and to this day. All right, let's give an example of this. All right, let's play this video.
First at 5, we're learning more about the man who Shelby County Sheriff deputies say shot and killed his own brother. Hi there, thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Shay Arthur. 34-year-old Broderick Ross is now facing numerous charges in Shelby and Crittenden counties. WREG's Quimitra Wilborn spoke to the mother of Ross's children, who says they're still trying to wrap their heads around what happened.
Suspect is responsible for shooting his brother in the face and then placing his brother in the trunk of his vehicle.
Dispatch audio details the moments when deputies in Crittenden County arrested 34-year-old Broderick Ross. He's accused of killing his younger brother, 30-year-old Quincy Ross, in North Haven late Friday night. Shelby County deputies say Broderick shot Quincy on Archie Drive, put the body in his vehicle, and then disposed of the body in Crittenden County. Broderick was later arrested in Edmondson, Arkansas, which is almost 30 miles away from the crime scene and not far from where Quincy's body was found. Your news leader confirmed the brothers have family near that area.
And I think Broderick killed Quincy out of jealousy.
We spoke to Quatavia Hayward over the phone, and she is the mother of Broderick's 3 sons.
It hurted them real bad to know that their dad shot their uncle, or killed their uncle.
Hayward says she's known the brothers since they were teens and says Broderick can be very violent.
If things don't go with his way, he wants to fight and argue. Mm-hmm. But it's nothing that serious to kill Quincy over. Come on, you stand with Quincy. Quincy's feeding you, clothing you. How could you do that to your little brother?
The motive for the killing is still under investigation. Hayward says Quincy leaves behind 7 children and a grieving family still trying to make sense of the entire incident.
So we're going to make sure that Quincy gets the justice that he deserves.
Broderick is facing multiple charges in Shelby County, including second-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, and carjacking. In Crittenden County, he's charged with abuse of a corpse and tampering with evidence, among other charges. Reporting for your news leader from Crittenden County, Quimitra Wilborn, WREG News, Channel 3.
Broderick is still booked in the Crittenden County Jail. It's unclear when he'll be extradited to Shelby County. And coming up in the news at 5:30 tonight, WREG's Raven Copeland will have reaction from the victim's family.
And as you can see,
if things don't go with his way, he wants to fight and argue. Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, the curses of Deuteronomy on you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are still prevalent. You see, even until this day. All right. I'm going to end the lesson here. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakwadash. All right, Shalom. All right. Trying to get a picture of his face. Salakia. All right, I'll end the lesson here. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. Shalom.